Hi there, welcome to the archives. So I'm gonna continue doing why does he do that inside the minds of angry and controlling men. Hopefully I can finish up the series today because I want to return it. I'm on chapter 12, so I have a couple more chapters left before I'm done. I want to do all the recordings today for this because I want to return it. So I've been working through the last couple chapters, chapters 5 through to 12. Um, it goes into how abuse begins. And so it kind of talks about like the early months, um, which is basically like the love bombing, right? You're just the best person in the world to them. They put you on a pedestal. I tend to do that as well too in relationships, right? Oh my God, this is the one. As a limerence queen, you're just like, oh, this is it, right? I found my forever. You start idealizing them. You're just kind of love struck. You run around telling everybody, your friends, your family, how good this one is. I got a terrific guy. Wait, man, yeah, papa be pow. Man, yeah, papa be white. Wala. Oh, because of sound, this is the one. You start signing your last name. Oh my God, this is my last name. I'm getting married. He's gonna put a ring on it. Girl, um, right? You assume that his abusiveness comes with something that's wrong with him on the inside. You can fix it. Oh, this one. This is no biggie. I can heal this one. We just do a little bit of work, right? He becomes, what do you guys call it? Build a bear? It becomes a project. Um, so this is the beginning. It's really hard to let go of the dream of him being so wonderful, and he really is, right? And the question is like, when he's so good earlier on, is he planning to be abusive later? And he said, probably not. Again, remember this is written by a man, right? So Lundy says probably not. Like even from the beginning, they can kind of see it's about control, right? Abuse isn't always their end goal, but they use abuse to control you. Their end goal is to control you. And so the basically yeah, he just says he isn't laying plans to hurt her. What is going on in his mind, right? So he says first he's basically holding on to this image of the future as like beautiful, idyllic. He wants to meet all of her needs, but he's ideally looking for his needs to be met, right? It's not necessarily about your needs, it's about his needs. Finally, I found the one, I found the trophy, I found somebody who my boys respect me for. I found somebody who cooks and cleans and is going to take care of me, and I'm not going to end up in an old age home because I got a nurse taking care of me. Like it's typically they're grooming you because they see benefits in it is what I got out of the book. Um, yeah, so it goes on and says like the abuser is neither a monster nor a victim. An abuser is a human being, not an evil monster, but he has a profoundly complex and destructive problem that should not be underestimated. An abuser's behavior is primarily conscious. He acts deliberately rather than by accident or by losing control of himself. That's not it, right? He says, but the underlying thinking that drives his behavior is largely not conscious. So that was really interesting. But basically, it goes into some red flags early on, which again is just like basically everything is a red flag at this point, right? Um, he speaks disrespectfully about his former partners. We went into this yesterday with like the victim template, right? Oh my gosh, she was a crazy one. She was so bad. She just tried to destroy my life. Whole time he's just projecting he was the one who tried to destroy her life. Um, but like all of their exes are abusive, right? This is a red flag. Um, at the same time, it could be also problematic if he's like putting her on a pedestal because you're likely never going to be able to meet that expectation, right? So already he's like pinning you against another woman, doing like the whole love triangle thing. And so even if you end up not believing her, you will, this is basically when you hear another woman, consider him abusive, always find a way to get her side of the story, right? Try to get her side of the story so you get a fuller picture. Because as we go into this, a lot of these men lie. They lie. They love lying. They're pathological liars. Women could be pathological liars as well too, right? And so that's what it is. Be cautious of a man who says that you are nothing like the other women he's been involved with, that you are the first partner to treat him well, or that earlier women in his life have not understood him. You will be tempted to work doubly hard to prove that you aren't like these other women, and one foot will always be in the trap. It won't be long before he's telling you that you are just like the rest of them, right? His perpetual system ensures that no woman can be a good woman while she is involved with him. So it says a few men take the opposite approach, which is to glorify and elevate their former partners so that you feel like you can never quite compete with them. If he starts to lament the fact that you aren't as sexy, you aren't as athletic, domestic, or successful as the women who went before you, I can assure you that it won't measure up any better later, no matter how hard you try. He wants to feel, um, he wants to feel one up on you so that he can have the upper hand. Notice whether he seems to accept any responsibility for what went wrong in his previous relationships. If everything was always the other woman's fault, you will soon be to blame for all the difficulties in your new relationship. Another red flag is he's disrespectful to you. He does favors for you that you don't want or puts on a show of generosity to make you uncomfortable. He's controlling. He's possessive. Nothing is ever his fault. He's self-centered. He uses drugs or alcohol. He pressures you for sex. He gets serious too quickly about the relationship. This is something that I see myself. I'm always like, oh my God, right away, this is the one, right? So that's something I recognize and I definitely try to work on. He intimidates you when he's angry. These are all red flags. He has double standards, so what's okay for him to do, you can't do. He has negative attitudes towards women. He treats you differently around other people. So oftentimes in these reality shows, you'll hear like, oh, he's a different person when the camera comes out than when he is when you were alone, right? Um, he appears to be attracted to vulnerability. That one is like, that's a red flag. Huh. It says one way that his this warning sign manifests itself is in cases in men who are attracted to women or girls who are much younger than they are. So this is a vulnerability one. So this is like the older men, the 40 or the 50-year-olds that are dating the 20-year-olds. He said it's because he's attracted to vulnerability. He wants a woman that's vulnerable because he knows that it's easier to control a vulnerable woman. It's also like men who see a woman's going through a really hard, traumatic time. Maybe she's houseless. You saw this recently with the SNAP benefits, right? The men were like, ha ha ha, women are going to be coming after us to sleep with us now. It's like they look for women who are vulnerable because they know that it's easier to take advantage of somebody who's vulnerable. So basically, for example, does a 22-year-old man pursue a 16-year-old adolescent because he's stimulated and challenged by her? Obviously not. They are not completely different they are at completely different developmental points in their life with a dramatic imbalance in their levels of knowledge and experience. He is attracted to power and seeks a partner who will look up to him with awe and allow him to lead her. And you hear again a lot of these older men, they tell themselves, right? Yeah, the older the women get, the less desirable they become, the harder they are to control, and that's essentially what it is. That's what the book is saying. They are attracted to women who are vulnerable, right? They want somebody who they can lead and control. And usually, when you listen, I turned 40 this year. When you hit that 40-year mark, the level of fucks you give is way less. And so I think that's what a lot of men are saying. I want a younger woman who I can easily control, right? She doesn't talk back. She does what I want. She looks better, right? Even though I feel like I look better now in my 40s than I did in my 20s. That's not saying I was ugly in my 20s, but like this whole thing that like you're in your prime in your 20s, it's also this fear mongering that a lot of men do to lock women down early in life. So that's what it basically says, right? He may even compliment her on her sexual prowess and say how much power she has over him, setting up the young victim so that she won't recognize what is happening to her. Even without a chronological age difference, some abusive men are drawn to women who have less life experience, who have less knowledge, who have less self confidence, and who will look up to the man as a teacher or a mentor, right? He wants to be daddy. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that, especially in like BDSM communities. If you have a contract, like 'cause some women want that, right? Some women want to be the brat. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But again, there's a contract that's usually set up. You've had a conversation about it. You have boundaries. You have keywords. You know what the role is. You are coming up together with the role, right? With the scene, all of that is consensual. In these cases, it's not. That's not what usually what's happening, right? So basically, these are some of the warning signs of abuse to look for. He's disrespectful towards you. He speaks disrespectfully about his former partners. He does favors for you that you don't ask for. Um, he is controlling. He is possessive. He never ever is at fault. Everything is your fault. He's self-centered. He uses drugs or alcohol. He pressures you into sex. Um, and again, this is where a lot of us have been in that position where it technically is a form of rape, right? Like you say no, you don't want to say no. I mean, you want to say no, but you just feel like if I just don't give in, or if I don't say yes, this is gonna escalate. Now he's physically assaulting me, and I'm gonna get raped anyway. So a lot of women will acquiesce, and you just go along with it, right? That's rape culture. Just a reminder, I was made a comment a couple of days ago. You can say no at any point. You can start and still say no. You can be halfway through and say stop, and that person still has to respect you. No means no. Period. It doesn't matter if you wanted to at first and then halfway through. A lot of men would be like, "Oh, she trapped me and she wanted to," and what was that line in that guy's poem? She didn't say no, so I kept going, right? It's like, no, that's if it's not an enthusiastic yes, then it's a no. So, yeah, basically those are some of the signs of abuse. I'm gonna end this one here. The next it goes into when is it abuse? Let me see. Um, yeah, so basically, those are some of the signs of how the abuse begins. Usually with love bombing, you're the best person in the world. It starts really, really beautiful. Um, and then you start to slowly see the cracks in the wall. So I'm going to end this one here, and I'll continue with the um, next one. Okay. So until next time, in solidarity.